Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Srimad. His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Glories to Sri Guru. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, of all pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, translation and commentary by Srila Prabhupada, Canto 4, Chapter 31, today's text number 15. Yataiva Suryat Prabhavanti Vara Punascha tasmin prabhashanti kale Bhutani bhuma stirajangamani Tatha harave eva guna prabhaha Yatha eva surya prabhavanti vara Punascha tasmin prabhashanti kale Bhutani bhuma stirajangamani Tata Haraveva Guna Prabhaha Yataiva Suryat Prabhavanti Vara Punascha Tasmin Pravashanti Kale Bhutani Bhuma Sthira Jangamani Tatha Haraveva Guna Prabhaha Bolo
Surya Prabhavanti Vara Tasmin Pravishanti Kale Tani Gumaus Tira Jangamani Deva Guna Prabhara Yataiva Surya Prabhavanti Vara Punashta Tasmin Pravashanti Kale Bhutani Bhuma Stira Jangamani
Jangamani
Haraveva Guna Prabha
Yataiva Suryat Prabhavanti Vara Punascha Tasmin Pravashanti Kale
Shanti Kale
Bhutani Bhuma Jangamani Tata Haraveva Guna Prabhaha
Yataiva Surya Prabhavanti Vara
Yataiva Surya Prabhavanti Vara Punascha Tasmin
Pravashanti Kale
Bhutani Bhuma Stira Jangamani Tata Haraveva Guna Prabhaha.
Anyone else? Word for word. Yata. As. Eva. Certainly. Suryat. From the sun. Prabhavanti is generated. Varaha. Water. Punaha. Again. Cha. And. Tasmin. Unto it. Pravishanti. Enters. Kale. In due course of time. Bhutani. All living entities. Bhumau. To the earth. Sthira. Not moving. Jangamani. And moving. Tata. Similarly. Harau. Unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Eva. Certainly. Guna Pravaha. Emanation of material nature. Translation. During the rainy season, water is generated from the sun, and in due course of time, during the summer season, the very same water is again absorbed by the sun. Similarly, all living entities, moving and inert, are generated from the earth. And again, after some time, they all return to the earth as dust. Similarly, everything emanates from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and in due course of time, everything enters into him again. Please repeat, during the rainy season, water is generated from the sun. And in due course of time, during the summer season, the very same water is again absorbed by the sun. Similarly, all living entities, moving and inert, are generated from the earth. And again, after some time, they all return to the earth as dust. Similarly, everything emanates from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in due course of time, everything enters into him again. Srila Prabhupada's purport: because of their poor fund of knowledge, impersonalist philosophers cannot understand how everything comes out from the Supreme Person and then merges into him again, as Brahma Samhita 540 confirms. Yasya prabha prabhavato jagadanda koti kotishvashesya sabadut adi vibhuti bhinnam tad brahma nishkalam anantam ashesha bhutam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Transcendental rays emanate from the body of Krishna, and within those rays, which are the Brahman effulgence, everything is existing. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9.4, Matstani Sarva Bhutani. Although Krishna is not personally present everywhere, his energy is the cause of all creation. The entire cosmic manifestation is nothing but a display of Krishna's energy. The two examples given in this verse are very vivid. During the rainy season, the rain, by rejuvenating the production of vegetables on earth, enables man and animals to obtain living energy. When there is no rain, food is scarce, and man and animal simply die. All vegetables, as well as moving living entities, are originally products of the earth. They come from the earth, and again they merge into the earth. Similarly, the total material energy is generated from the body of Krishna. And at such a time, the entire cosmic manifestation is visible. When Krishna winds up his energy, everything vanishes. This is explained in a different way in Brahma Samhita 548. Yasyaika nishvasita kala matavalambhya jivanti loma vilaja jagadandhanataha vishnur mahansa iha yasya kala vishesho govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. This entire material creation comes from the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and at the time of annihilation, again enters into him. This process of creation and dissolution is made possible by the breathing of the Mahavishnu, who is only a plenary portion of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnanam Jana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master is kindly opening my eyes. With the torch of knowledge, I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Okay. So yesterday, Jagaranga talked on a famous verse. Anybody remember the verse? Famous. You know it. You said it was famous too. All right, English.
This is one for the tree.
Okay, we got to get the Sanskrit now from Dira. Thank you very much. Translation, roughly.
This one pours water on the root of the tree. The whole tree is nourished. Similarly, one who worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead nourishes everything with her worshiping God.
Yes, everything is accomplished just by worshiping Him, because He's the root. So that's a very famous verse, and that ended, you could say, part one of Narada's instructions, because from text 8 to 14, it's really all about how devotional service is the essence, it's the goal of everything, of all spiritual practices. So why is that? So today, Narada begins, you could say, part two of his instructions. He begins to say why we should worship Krishna, why perform devotional service to Krishna. I mean, that's what we're doing. So we're not just sentimental blind fools. We have to understand why. So Narada begins to answer that in today's verse, in part two of his instructions. And why? Because everything comes from the Lord. Everything comes from Him. He's the root of everything. And that's what it is about Krishna that compels us to serve Him. So I have this file, Vishwanath's commentary, So I could see from reading Vishwanath's commentary to this verse that Prabhupada was totally inspired by Vishwanath's commentary, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, to basically rephrase what Vishwanath is saying, because he focuses on the same two examples that Vishwanath did from the translation that Narada is speaking. He focused on the examples Narada gives in the verse, Srila Prabhupada. And what does he say about those verses in the purport? He says they're very vivid examples. What does vivid mean? Blake, tell us what vivid means.
Like bright.
Bright, very clear, makes a good impression, right? If something is vivid, you don't forget it. It's like, wow, that's really clear. Yeah, I had a vivid experience. So the examples are, that Narada gave, is that water is generated from the sun, right? Because the sun evaporates water from the ocean, and then it distributes it later as clouds, especially on the mountains. And then the rivers flow down from the mountains and enters back into the sea. Perfect cycle. And Narada gave the example that all life, that's another, all life is generated from the earth and finally is returned to the earth. And now Kirtaneshwar is going to tell us where that appears in Genesis. Okay.
All water comes from.
No, it's about earth now. All life is generated from the earth and finally is returned to the earth. And again, yeah, well, actually, the quote is from, as God tells Adam, quote, "Dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return." You're mortal, and you're mortal now. Yeah, you've eaten from the apple, the tree of knowledge, right? Good and evil. Similarly, Narada says, everything comes from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And eventually, everything enters into Him again. So the examples of water, and examples of earth. And so Narada is saying, similarly, everything comes from Krishna, and everything eventually comes back to Him. So to support Narada's vivid preaching to the Prachetas, Srila Prabhupada cites two verses from the Brahma Samhita, which we all sang together. But if you notice, Prabhupada doesn't give the exact translation in the purport. So why don't we hear? We've already done the Sanskrit. Let's hear those, how they're translated by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta in the Brahma Samhita. So for the first one, I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose effulgence. In this verse, Lord Brahma is saying, everything that exists emanates from Krishna's body. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose effulgence is the source of the non-differentiated Brahman, mentioned in the Upanishads, being differentiated from the infinity of glories of the mundane universe, which appears as the indivisible, infinite, limitless truth. All right. And then he quotes, Prabhupada quotes 548, which we chanted. And then 548, so Brahma and other lords of the mundane worlds, because Brahma, after all, is a jiva soul like us, but he's super empowered to be the co-creator of the universe, appearing from the pores of the hair of Mahavishnu, remain alive as long as the duration of one exhalation of the latter, Mahavishnu. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, whose subjective personality, Mahavishnu is the portion of the portion. So, Mahavishnu, you see how we see the paintings, how he's breathing out universes. They're coming from the pores of his body. And this is the one-line purport from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. The supreme majesty of the subjective nature of Vishnu is shown here. Yeah, majesty, indeed. Okay, so on that note, on the note of majesty, as soon as that verse and then the majesty, it made me think of something from Siddhanta Prabhu's memory series. It's the memories number 11, which is just Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Usually these DVDs are like a medley of devotees, but because TKG had so much association with Prabhupada, he had so much to share, he shared a lot. So we're just going to look at one. It's a famous story. You all know the story, but I thought to get it right, why don't we hear TKG tell it, because he was the subject of the story where Prabhupada reminded him of Krishna's majesty and how insignificant he was. I gotta wait for this to... Come on. All right. Boom. Okay, there it is. All right, it's DVD number 11 and Tamal Krishna Maharaj, because we all kind of know, we know stories, but sometimes we don't always get them right. So let's hear Tamal Krishna Maharaj himself tell the story about how Prabhupada humbled him. Here it is. In the early days, he's talking about 69. He and Vishnu John joined at 68. So in the early days, I was the temple commander in the La Cienega Temple in Los Angeles. So if you've been to New Dwarka, it's on Watsika Avenue. They moved there in the spring of 70. But before then, it was on La Cienega, which is only less than 2 miles. It's not very far away. So Tamal says, I was the temple commander. This is a hint. Maybe you already know the story now. Prabhupada called me one day and asked me to get the Bhagavatam. So this is how it went down. He had his original Bhagavatam. So he meant his original Bhagavatam, with a dust jacket, with all creation on the dust jacket. He had his original Bhagavatam with the spiritual sky on the cover. He said, do you see this spiritual sky? It's very big. You cannot fathom how big this is. 3/4 of Krishna's creation is the spiritual sky. Of course, what does that mean? The spiritual sky is infinite. So what's 3/4 of infinity, right? Or everything's infinite. You cannot fathom how big this is. 3/4 of Krishna's creation is the spiritual sky. And 1/4 is the material creation. So what's 1/4 of infinity? That material creation has innumerable universes. If you see this, I'm just reading a transcript, but if you see TKG tell this, the whole time he's got this kind of smile on his face, like, here it comes. He must have given this at 95 because he passed in 2002. And I was on number 10. I gave that in 95. He probably did it in 95 or 96. Okay, for Siddhanta. One universe, Prabhupada says, is so big the scientists cannot measure it. We're on one planet in one of those universes out of innumerable universes. So you can imagine Jamal Krishna Brahmachari at the time just wondering, where is this going? Right? We're on one planet, we're on one planet in one of those universes out of innumerable universes, which constitute 1/4 of the creation. This one planet, Earth, is one of the smaller planets in this universe. Yeah, it's smaller compared to like Jupiter. I'm talking about just our solar system, right? On this planet, there are 7 continents. And on one of the continents, North America, there is a great city called Los Angeles. In that Los Angeles city, there's a long boulevard called La Cienega. On that La Cienega Boulevard, there is one church building, because that had been a church before they got the Methodist church on Watsika. There is one church building that is now a Hare Krishna temple. In that one Hare Krishna temple, there is one Tamal Krishna, and he thinks that he is very important. So Tamal must have been like, yes, Srila Prabhupada. Because Prabhupada knew Tamal Krishna, and as he knew all of us, but especially someone like him who had, so much. Whenever Prabhupada wanted something done, he would say, call Tamal, that nobody else could do, right? Call Tamal. And also, at the end of Prabhupada's life, in 77, Tamal became the secretary and the servant combined, and he was doing things that nobody could do. Nobody could, serve Prabhupada with such awe and reverence, and at the same time, serve him, so closely. Because when you get really close, the tendency is to become familiar, right? But he was able to do that. Okay, so on that note, where am I? Here it is. Okay. I have an exercise question, and I will start the ball rolling by giving my answer to the question, and then you can chime in if you like. The question is, how has Krishna dramatically, this is very dramatic the way Prabhupada did this. Prabhupada has such a sense of drama and oratory. How has Krishna dramatically humbled you? So he's done it many ways, but I will tell you, let me just tell my little thing. This just happened a few days ago. Today's Wednesday, right? So on Sunday, I gave that little talk with the slides on the winter solstice through Krishna's eyes, right? So I was thinking, wow, what a great idea. This is such a good idea. I'll tie in the solstice to Krishna, because this is an event that we can see through Krishna's eyes, and it's so topical. It's today. It's going to be great. But as I was going through my script, and and I was having Lita move the slides, I was looking out at blank faces. Nobody was really responding to this, right? And I was thinking, I wonder if this. I think I'm kind of bombing here. And then even when Manoram asked, I asked a question. I had time for questions, and I asked a question, and I wasn't able to really respond to the question so well. I was thinking, uh-oh, I'm really bombing out. So, and then I think when the conch blew, everybody looked very relieved. And so we all bowed down, and it was time for RT. And I was thinking, because all those guys were there, young guys, from Alachua. I was thinking, boy, I wish we could have just kept going, with their kirtan for an hour. And why did they have to stop at 6? But anyway, it was very humbling. And I walked out and walked back to the room. I didn't even save it. I thought, this is going to be such a great slideshow that I'm going to save this. It's going to be in my repertoire of slideshows. But I bombed out so bad that I just deleted it and threw the script in the trash. Okay, on that note, Kirtaneshwar Prabhu says he has an example of how Krishna very dramatically humbled him.
Humbles me all the time. They're always to do with music too, because that's where my ego really gets big, So I'll give you three short instances. Instance number 1 was the very first time I led kirtan in the temple. Somehow or another, Chaitanya Leela drummed, and she kind of wasn't getting the beat. And then Sandamani thought it was in 2. It was actually in 4. And so then it sounded really bad. And then so during the middle of the kirtan, during the Sunday feast, she came up and she said, why don't you stop and let Kirtan Yagya take over? I had to get up during the middle of the Sunday feast, and then Kirtan Yagya sat in. So it was really crushing. I vowed to never lead kirtan again, but then when I went to El Paso, Chaitanya Chandra Prabhu convinced me otherwise. That was when I was still a bhakta.
So you're saying Leela was off, but she thought you were off.
Well, Leela was a little off, and then that made Sandamani off on the cartels, and so then the whole thing.
Oh, the whole thing was off.
Anyways, it was instance number 2 was just, on Monday, although my performance, it seemed good, I had forgot the whole first line of my song.
Oh, when you did the, okay.
So the whole first verse just went out of my brain.
Uh-huh.
So I sang the second and third verse, but the first verse wasn't there. So it was really upsetting, because I was thinking, I wanted to.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, I was wondering why. Okay,
So
that makes
anyways,
sense.
that was sad.
I wondered why you played
Kept
the guitar for
repeating.
so long.
Yeah. Sad. Anyways, Krishna did that. The worst of all, though, was number 3 was I was asked to lead the Tulsi Puja at Mayapur. I sing in Mayapur all the time.
Well, this is for the whole world, because you're on camera.
Yeah.
For the whole world.
And I sing in Mayapur a lot, but usually I try to keep myself really humble in Mayapur, because Radhamada will crush you. And so this time I had not kept myself humble. I was thinking, oh yeah, Jamuna and Jagannath and Shanta, they're going to watch me, because they're always watching Mayapur TV. I was thinking like that. And so then I sang, Tulsi Krishna Prayasi Namo Namo. And that was it. It was all gone.
You couldn't think anything beyond that.
Could not. And the next line, I actually sang, instead of Radha Krishna Seva Papa, I said Shri Shri Radha Govind. I sang the last line of the song second. It was so embarrassing in front of 3,000 devotees, totally horrible. So that was really, I was crushed. And I told the Prabhu, I said, I understand how horrible that was, but you got to understand that Krishna's in our heart, and he takes away the memory. Because I sing Tulsi Puja 3 times a week. So Krishna takes away our memory to humble me.
So you went from the first line of the first verse to the last line of the last verse?
Yep.
So what did everybody do?
oh, they looked at me like I should be killed. And then but you know what? Then he let me sing again three other times while I was in Mayapur. And then last time also I sang 3 times. But this time now I just begged, brought him out of it, like just the most intense begging, like, I do not want to do this. I'm doing this for you. And ever since then, it's been like really good, been really well. And they always ask me to sing when I'm there. But that was really dust mode humbling.
Okay, yeah, Krishna knows how to get us in the right mood. Okay, did anybody else have a
So I'd like to
dramatic
hear the
example?
words to the song.
Oh, after the class.
Yeah. No, not right now.
Okay.
Is anybody, I mean, Krishna humbles us every day, right? But does anybody think of a time when Krishna dramatically humbled you? No? Wow. Either we're not getting it, or what? Or maybe Chandrika.
Yeah.
Can you think? How has Krishna dramatically humbled
I'm
you?
just, sorry, I was a bit distracted, but I'm just thinking about the Sunday when we did our play. And then I thought, because we had one word in it, which was...
Astonished.
Yeah, but it was before that. There was another word. And I said, oh, let me change it to, what was it?
Change it to astonished.
Swamiji is going to do something very astonishing.
Yes,
I was going to say it
astonishing,
like
right.
that.
Yeah.
But I ended up saying Swamiji is doing something very special. And I was like, oh, I really wanted to say astonishing. Like that was like the one word I really wanted to really say.
Yeah.
And then, but somehow it didn't come out. And I thought, okay, Krishna's just humbled me because I was like so proud of saying astonishing.
Yeah, you wrote the script, right? But you couldn't remember what you even wrote. Or
It just went, the word went and it changed to special. And I was like, no, that's all right. So anyway, that was my little, I was like, okay, it's just humbling me. Like, that I was going to say that special word.
He's a
But that's
source
just-
of remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. And he knows when to let us remember and let us
Take away.
take away that.
Yeah.
It always happens, like after it happens, you always you look back like I was feeling puffed up. You realize that. You don't realize it until it happens.
That's
Afterwards, you think, yeah. I was like after that Monday thing, I was so puffed up. And I look back like I was so puffed up about this guitar thing. And I look back like I didn't.
Now I have to ask here, Taneshwar, because as you were singing your song, you looked rather tortured too. So was that part of it? Because Krishna had taken away your...
Yeah.
I mean, it was autobiographical too. Maybe that was part of it.
No, I was pretty tortured that I forgot the first line.
Okay.
I was also those types of events make me very exhausted though. Like when there's a lot of people and like, I was busy all day and so I was just feeling very exhausted.
Exhausted.
Yeah, like socially, I get socially exhausted.
Social. Okay.
It never shows.
That's the symptom of an introvert. They're always really good with people. Gurudev's an introvert too, super introverted.
I'm wondering if our Jamuna, who's now sweet 17 instead of sweet 16, has Krishna ever dramatically humbled you? You have a lot. Anything that's not too mortifying for you to share publicly? Okay, give her there you go.
Every time I go to Phoenix, if I sing something, if I say a verse, every time, a few times like it goes okay actually. Every time I'll forget every word. I'll forget the whole line and I'll just stand there blankly and I'm like, huh? But every time, for some reason, Phoenix is very humbling. At the Madhapuri, very humbling for me. Also on the talent
Wait,
show.
did this happen this last Sunday?
Oh yeah, that too. But like I was talking when I was 9 years old. Like I was singing the Nishingan prayers. It's like Sunday, everyone's there, and like I just forgot. I was like, wait, what comes next? So I was just blanking there, and everyone's like playing the drums. I was like, and I'd sung it before. I knew it, but like every time I go up, every time.
Because you're nervous, and when you're nervous, you're a little afraid, and fear, it blocks the memory.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Oh, and the first time I did at this temple too, that was bad. That was bad. And on Monday, also during the talent show, I was all hyped. I was gonna be super puffed up. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do the dance like during Nikunja's talent show thing. I was like, I'm gonna do the dance and all that. Like the second part, I was like, I'm gonna go all out for her. I'm gonna be extra energetic. I did not. The first one, I could feel my turban slipping. I could feel the dhoti about to slip off. I was like, nope. So I didn't even end up doing it. I just stood there awkwardly with my flute. So it was that.
Okay, that's good. You recognize that.
Yeah, it's a lot of times.
Anyone else?
Every time I open my-
Humbling. Oh, Divya. Yeah, when you get to be in your senior years, like Divya and me, Krishna has humbled you many times.
I'm sure he has. But two things that come to mind are, and it hasn't happened for what, but I'll be walking along, I don't know, maybe thinking I'm great, and I stumble.
You stumble.
I like trip. And I'm like, okay, Krishna's humbling me, and that used to happen a lot. And
Really?
And then, I'm nervous about the verse. I'm thinking, okay, I can do this, and I'll say it, and then I so often screw it up, and I think that's stage fright, But that's always very humbling.
Well, so
should be able to
physically, I
rap.
mean, you're strutting. You're like strutting like a peacock,
I guess, yeah.
and then all of a sudden you stumble.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's wild.
But when I stumble, I'm thinking, Krishna is like humbling me.
Yeah. Okay. That's because you're a devotee. What's that? Anyway.
I said,
Okay.
I'm sure there's a lot more I think about.
Yes. Okay. Kirtaneshwar has.
I have something to
You have a
I'm like
stop.
so questioning how people aren't having.
All right. Oh yeah. Well,
all these stories. I'm thinking, man, I'm like,
okay, well,
I must
that's
be
the-
really puffed up.
Well, that's the exercise question. But how about if I just read the verse again, and if you have any questions about the verse of the purport, let's do that. And then if not, we got time before breakfast. Verse again is, during the rainy season, water is generated from the sun, and in due course of time, during the summer season, the very same water is again absorbed by the sun. Similarly, all living entities moving and inert. What does inert mean?
Not moving.
Right, in that context, yeah. Are generated from the earth, and again, after some time, they all return to the earth as dust. Especially in Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, everything emanates from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and in due course of time, everything enters into Him again. If nobody has any questions about the verse, oh, you do. Okay, so we're going to go back to humbled. Devotees are humble because they know Krishna's working in their lives at every second.
I have a lot more actually, but
We'll take turns with Kirtaneshwar.
okay. Another funny one. The first time when I did the Sunday feast, I was all puffed up. I was like, oh yeah, we're doing the Sunday feast. I was like, this is gonna be great. It was going good. I was like, oh yeah, we got this. Everyone's dancing. And then it's like the maybe last few minutes, and then I just have voice cracks. Like every time I open my mouth, I have a voice crack. It was so bad.
Your voice cracked?
Yeah, like like when you're singing and then like you have a little pause or like a break in it. I don't know how to explain it, but it was a voice crack, and it was like the whole time. It was like for 5 minutes straight. It was so bad.
But probably nobody heard that but you. I mean, it's...
I listened to videos. I listened to a video. It was very obvious, but it was not good.
Yeah, he's letting you know you don't have the best voice in the universe.
Yeah, I have so many stories. I mean, but I was going to ask a question, but
Okay.
a lot of them are like getting chastised really badly, and then like feeling super like going through the suicidal phase, and then the like I can do it again phase, being like humbled by your guru. Because it seems like if the guru chastises you, you always go through like a suicidal moment where it's like I should just die. But I was going to ask a question. I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and you brought up this. Well, you didn't bring it up, but it seemed like you indirectly brought up this aham sarvasya prabhavo mato sarvavartate iti mato bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita, that everything emanates from Krishna, and those who know this worship Krishna with love. And I've been just really thinking a lot lately about Krishna and how Krishna's, God, and He's the source of everything. But sometimes, because of the way that the Bhagavatam is, it's hard to conceptualize Krishna as the source of everything. Because when we see Krishna so human-like, we see him do God-like things like lift Govardhan Hill, and he's killing these demons. But still, at the same time, when we think of like Mahavishnu or Brahma, it's easy to think of, we hear descriptions of how he's creating everything.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with Krishna, there's this almost feels like there's like a block in the chain when you're thinking about how Krishna is ultimately the source of even Vishnu.
Yeah.
And, how are the mechanics of that? So I was wondering if you can just speak about that a little bit, because it seems like Krishna is so human. Sometimes it's hard to, wrap our minds around this fact. And then that can put doubt in our hearts.
Yeah. When you hear, people have expressed that in classes and also on conversations and morning walks. And Prabhupada, his mood in the answer is, this is Krishna's mercy. Because it's true. Krishna is greater than the greatest. Mahato Mahiyan. He's bigger than the biggest, and Anoraniyan, he's smaller than the smallest. So, here, this is a humbling thought. There's a verse in the Gita in the 9th chapter, which says that when Krishna says, when I descend in the human form, they deride me. Who derides me?
Mudhas.
Fools. Avajananti mang mudha. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature, my supreme dominion over all that be. Yeah, because, Krishna is so great, but he's coming in a way that we can relate to him. Like Yashoda, and, or like the deity form, so we can dress him and feed him. Otherwise, we couldn't even relate. He's infinite. We just, in those Brahma Samhita verses, it's 1/4 of infinity. We're living in 1/4 of infinity, and the spiritual world is 3/4 of infinity. So that you can't even conceive that. So it's just Krishna's mercy, and if we can't relate to it, that means we're mudha, we're fools. And now Chandrika is going to add to the answer.
I just wanted to respond briefly that as in Jiva Goswami says, the first thing about understanding Krishna is understanding that he's a chincha. He's
inconceivable potency. That's the first thing. Yes, and Nisringa, wow, is going to enlighten us.
Yeah, wow. I've been humbled many times. Some very big situations, some minor. But I guess last night, maybe. So Ishwal Puri loves to say Haribol, like constantly, which is great. But I was having trouble sleeping because he likes to say it in his sleep. And
that means you let him sleep during the day too much. You gotta let him.
No, this was at night. While he sleeps. While he sleeps.
Oh, while he sleeps?
Yes. It's yes, I'm not even kidding. And I was I surrendered to it, and then I finally fell asleep. But it took a second because I just I need silence, and it was just okay. But yeah, that was a situation, I guess.
So you were humbled because you thought this person is so advanced, even in his sleep.
No, yeah, I'm pure devotee. Honestly, it's crazy.
I would like to share my humble time. There's so many times.
How has Krishna humbled you? How is he humbling you right now?
Yeah, right now. One time, really, I feel embarrassing myself. I was singing Tulsi Arati and I was playing Kartal. The Kartal never come good tone with me. Then I feel I forgot the verses, then that tone and everything. Oh my God, when I go singing alone, it comes everything on right way. Then when I'm singing in the group, then I can't make it, then I feel so surrendered to Krishna. It makes me so humble.
So the group intimidates you?
I could not feel confident to be singing in the group.
Public.
Yeah, then when I go cutting vegetables and cooking in the kitchen, I love singing myself. And it comes everything clear. Then other time, I feel I want to feed the devotee, I want to cook, make everything enough for everyone. Then last time when we celebrated Jamuna's birthday, there is a prasad run out, then I feel so embarrassed. Then there is so many devotees, then I want to make sure feed everyone. Then I feel like this is not my control. I should not be feel proud for that. So then I
What
feel-
happened that you cooked enough, right?
Yeah, but there is a rice and sabzi was gone. The pizza was still there.
Oh, it wasn't enough. you
But
said.
yeah, pizza was there, but still I want to make sure everything is there until the last.
Hey, if the pizza's great, then it's great.
Yeah, that makes me humble. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay.
There is so many stories, but
Unlimited humbling moments.
All right. I was expecting Jai Gauranga to share some experiences.
Humble?
How Krishna has humbled you.
Okay.
Now, if it's too private, I don't want to embarrass.
No, I'm happy to share. So I think in coming to Krishna consciousness, I was always proud of being able to enliven people. Like, maybe it's astrological that if I, in my family and my relationships, I'm like the
Life of
leader.
the party, like
Leader, yeah, life. So then in marriage life, I would say, or with my kids, or even in the devotional community, where Krishna has shown that you're not the source of, like with that verse that says, Sukhridam Sarvabhutanam, that Krishna is the supreme friend. I think a big anartha is that I think, oh, I'm the supreme friend. I'm the one that gives people pleasure. But then Krishna over the years showing me that I'm not the one, that Krishna is the most dear friend of every living entity. I think that's hard pill for me to swallow over the years.
Can you give us a dramatic example of that? Maybe there's too many. You can't think.
I'll just say also let's say the big ask of Srila Prabhupada is that we should share this Krishna consciousness with people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then also, okay, like one time when I was a brahmachari, at the Sunday feast, that person sitting next to me, I was like, I can't remember how the story went. It was
What temple was this?
LA,
LA.
in Dwarka. So I tried to ask something about the class or something. No, I said, I tried to start like an icebreaker, a conversation with the person, and I was going to download everything I've heard for the last 10 years in the ashram on a person who's brand new or something. I was ready to try to open up philosophical conversations. So I was like, so what have you been thinking about lately? He was like, he was eating the prasad. He was like, I've been thinking about thinking about thinking. And then he just kind of took his attention to the other direction, started eating prasad. And I was like, yeah, I really feel like I have no potency to try to connect with this person at all. Maybe, I think that's humbling too, over the years, just trying to see how impotent I am and trying to share Krishna consciousness with others.
Yeah, Krishna can do that.
Oh yeah. Here's a he brought up a vivid example of book distribution humiliations.
Yeah.
There's unlimited amounts for me because
Oh, yeah,
just how
that's-
Krishna does that.
Yeah.
Once I was trying to distribute books at the Rath Yatra in LA,
Hmm.
and I was going to people and I was talking to them, and they would be very rude and they would leave me. And I would walk to the next person, but behind me, Vaisheshika Prabhu was walking. He would catch them and then distribute them a book. And this happened 5 to 6 times where I would talk to someone, they would tell me no, and then Vaisheshika Prabhu would come and get them. Right after they told me no, they would tell him yes.
Wow.
And I was just looking at him finally I just said, I said, you're on a different level, okay?
Yeah, you said that happens with you with Parameshwar out at UA.
Well, Parameshwar is I don't even understand. That's just I've never been out there with him in the sense, but I've been on Harinam while he's doing books, and I'll set up the same table with the same sign that I got from, with the same everything. I'll get like, 2 or 3 people coming. And I've seen Parameshwar go out with the same thing and have a whole line of people, like lines of people at his book table. So I know this is a Krishna's mystic potency that
Yeah.
he has that desire. And I have, my desire is only for just sense gratification and lust. So, Parameshwar, he has the desire to serve Prabhupada. So he has, Krishna's reciprocating.
All right. Jai Shri Krishna, the supreme humiliator. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay.